Don't ask me to talk.
And welcome back to another exciting edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your co-hosts and one of your podcast pals, part of the Conversation Kids. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I'm the other one. I am Stacy Heller, and I assumed you were saying welcome back to me.
Well, yes, of course. Welcome back once again.
Thank you, because I'm back in the studio.
Yes, it's really nice to have you back here in the studio. Makes it easier.
It does make it easier. I think the sound is better from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
And also, it's just more fun. I can see you roll your eyes more easily. Just saying. But yeah, I'm back. It's kind of exciting. Re-entry has been interesting.
Not being in vacation mode anymore kind of can be a little bit of a shocker, right?
Well, it's not even that. I got home. I brought Cole home with me, the cat, and...
Now, quick question on Cole, because I don't think I've ever asked you this, but is he C-O-A-L or is he C-O-L-E?
He is, in fact, C-O-A-L, although when he signs cards for the kids... he is a backwards K, an O with an umlaut, and L.
Okay.
Because he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Right.
He
doesn't just do the paw print then.
No. Oh,
okay.
No. So the re-entry was, he meowed, he was frustrated, whatever. He chilled out after a time. We got home. He hopped out of the car and went to run in the house. And who was there waiting for him but my grand kitty Wilson? And they don't get along. And so it immediately started with Cole running past Wilson straight up to my bedroom under the bed, Wilson in hot pursuit, and Charlie, my son, in hot pursuit of both of them. So I was like, we're back. So, and it's been a few days now, and the re-entry thing, I found a moldy bagel when I was cleaning out the pantry. That made everything smell, let's say, musky.
It can't be as bad as my house, but go ahead.
Oh, I mean, so just like the smells, and then there's 2 litter boxes in the house.
Uh-huh.
Annie has one for Wilson upstairs and downstairs, I guess so he doesn't have to do the kitty potty dance. There's stuff everywhere. Charlie graduated from college in June, and he promptly moved all of his dorm stuff into the back office, and it's pretty much been left there. I didn't lose the walking pad that I had brought to Veranda Beach, where I lost the remote for a while, and I was having to use a cane to press the buttons. Well, the walking pad made it back, but once again, the remote is missing. Like, it's just not the same when you haven't been home for a while.
Sure.
And the cat thing has really been an issue because Cole hides in our room all day, and then at night he's like, I'm not coming downstairs for food. So I'm trying to get him to go out, so I carry him downstairs.
He's got to reacclimate to his domain.
You know what? He needs to figure his ish out. That's what needs to happen. So I had a guest at the lake house this summer, and they consult quite often psychics. And so they were talking about how they had consulted a psychic about their dog. And I'm almost at a point where I'm thinking I need to talk to the pet psychic and be like, what up?
All right.
See, there's the eye rolling in person. There it is.
Good luck with that.
I don't know. So, yeah. So re-entry is the pits. That's the news that's not fit to print. It's really hard.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure it'll snap back to normaltude here any moment now.
Sure it will. I'm cleaning out everything. Before we went on, I was like, I'm unpacking my stuff. Again, it's been a quarter of the year, and every time I go to open a drawer, I'm like, well, I might as well clean this out now. And when you have ADHD, it either means that you're going to get really, really intense about it and be hyper-focused on that, or you're going to leave simultaneously 4 drawers, 2 cabinets, and a closet half done. And I'm doing both simultaneously. Hyper-focused and a mess.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you mentioned it kind of stinking from that bagel, which kind of reminds me of my week here.
Yes,
because I would have loved for the house to stink because of a bagel instead of what happened.
Oh, no.
I go downstairs one day this last week, and I'm like, why is it stinking here? What is that gamey smell? And earlier in the week, I had found some oyster shells in the forest. That I thought, oh, like a big bird must have like dropped an oyster onto the forest ground and like got the oyster meat and just left the shell.
Okay.
So, but I thought it was cool. They were kind of cool looking oyster shells. So I took those home, and I got them rinsing basically in a sink. And so, I did that for a day and then drained them. And the next day it smelled kind of fishy in there. So I thought,
I wonder why.
Well, that's what I thought. But that wasn't the problem.
Really?
No.
Wow.
After some further investigation into the crawl space,
where
I could see, I could smell this funk.
What died?
We had another rat break in and die underneath the house. And so...
oh, that dirty rat.
That dirty rat, yeah. So it was delivering its funk to the house for a day. And then, so the next day, once it was like already nighttime when I figured this out, what it was. The next day, I went down and got kind of suited up.
In your hazmat suit?
In my hazmat
You said
suit.
it's in the crawl space, right?
In the crawl space.
Oh, that's just nasty.
Yeah, and sure enough, found the corpse, and so vacuumed him up, and I went and I got some strong mint spray from the hardware store, because the mint is supposed to keep rodents away.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, this is going to serve 2 purposes. It'll make the crawl space smell better. And also...
dirty crawl space, clean it up.
Help, yes. Was that Orbits?
Mentos.
Were they the Mentos?
Mentos.
No, I think...
No, what was it?
It might have been Orbits.
It might be Orbits.
Yeah.
Dirty mouth, clean it up.
Yeah, whatever happened to that lady?
I don't know,
She
because that was so good.
Sensation for a few minutes.
Totally. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I had to.
Yeah. But anyway, so I spray this, the mint spray in there. I vacuum up the rat corpse. I'm like, oh, brother. But it's immediately started to improve. I put this bag that I got that's got lava rocks in it that's supposed to absorb odor. I hung that in there.
Wow. You were on this.
Well, it was funky.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You get a big rat dying in your house when temperatures are over 70 degrees. It's like,
oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
It's not pleasant. Have you ever had somebody put the wrapper from chicken in the garbage can instead of taking it in the house garbage?
Yes, instead of taking it
instead of
out.
taking it out.
Yes.
And then the next day you're like, why the hell does it smell awful in here? And you go to throw something away.
And why did I do that?
You're hit by this cloud of grossness.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's exactly what that funk was like. So the next day, even just later that day, I'm just walking around like, wow, this mint is powerful. Because I really sprayed it down in there because I didn't want any more rats in there. And it was like now my eyes are
it's wintergreen going through your nasal passages.
Exactly, clearing everything out. I'm like, this might be a little strong, but at least it's not that funk. It's a minty funk. So it's a big improvement, but I think if you're in this situation, and I pray that you're never in it,
Ugh.
maybe just take it easy on the mint spray. That's all I could say.
Ugh.
But it did the job.
What
and
about Vicks
the funk
Vapor
is
Rub?
gone, and
Then it would clear anything that's ailing you.
yeah, that's possible too. So yeah, fun times at the
Wow.
at Ryder Manor.
Oh my gosh. That's horrible.
Well,
like
the
carcasses
Yeah.
are just, yeah.
Well, and I did some research on like how to get rid of like crawl space smell, and basically it says, well, you got to find the source of the smell and remove it. Well, duh.
Wait, what?
But I found like right. But there's like I found like a product that's like specifically for getting rid of the stench of corpse.
Is this on the dark web?
No, this is on the regular web.
Wow.
This was on the regular web, and it's just like, freshens like funeral homes and whatnot. And like apparently like the gas that a corpse gives off is like called, I can't even remember, but it's like something like cadaverosis or something like that. That it's like really like, oh, that's
like
where we get this term.
halitosis.
Yes, but it's
a corpse.
It's a corpse, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're learning so much on this show.
Right? So, hopefully I never have to resort to ordering the corpse odor remover.
That's amazing that there's like, it's
Specific
not just,
products for
Yeah.
a specific case.
I mean, and that it's not on the dark web. Like,
Right.
because isn't there something like you're supposed to use, like lye or something, right?
Well, I think that dissolves a corpse.
Oh, right. I'm
Yes.
getting my murder stuff all messed up.
But I guarantee if I bought this stuff, I would have been on a list. Like the FBI would have like been keeping track of my visa for the next like 10, 12 years.
Well, and also like now on your thread, like your search thread, like forget worrying about porn. Now you're like the smell of a dead corpse. Like, what do I do? That's awful. I mean, that is that's a lot. Let's see. The specific foul-smelling compounds emitted by decomposing corpses are primarily cadaverine.
Cadaverine. That's it. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Wow.
I couldn't remember what it was specifically called. I knew it had cadaver in the name, though.
Yeah, cadaverine, like Wolverine. Wow. You know what?
And that'll knock you out, too.
Yeah. Like, which do you want? I don't
Right.
know.
I'm surprised that's not a character, though.
Right?
Like
Cadaverine?
Yes.
It's like a cross between like a werewolf. Because
Right.
think about like your dead body, werewolf, like, or Dracula.
Cadaverine.
We got to do like a comic.
Yeah. I mean, we're not doing enough with this show. We might as well branch out into comics.
Yes.
Right.
It'll be great.
Yeah. The combo kids take on Cadaverine.
Now we're the comic kids.
That's right.
That works.
Sure. Hey,
Speaking of,
there's no comic fatigue in the movies now, so we should be good for, 1 billion, please.
right, money please.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of Wolverine, I saw an ad for a new movie that's coming out with Hugh Jackman, and he's playing a guy who's a Neil Diamond cover band
Okay.
lead or something.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I kind of might need to see this.
This could be interesting.
It could be so interesting. And I think it's like he's gone through a lot and like he's finding his space, and he finds, I think his co-star is maybe Kate Hudson, I
Okay.
think. But I love me a Neil Diamond cover band. I go to see Super Diamond
Sure.
at the Showbox all the time. Your eyes are rolling again.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to think of what his character name is. Cracklin' Tony or something like that.
They decided they were going to be called Thunder and Lightning.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, I don't know, it looks cute, and like the music's got to be great. And at least they're not doing another like Mamma Mia type thing where they're taking like the music and turning it into the whole story.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Jersey Boys. I mean, those were actually really well written.
Right.
But anyway, I'm excited for that.
Well, speaking of music, I've got to make a rare correction. From my commentary last week about Bruce Willis.
I looked it up.
You looked it up, right? But
It was Seagram's.
it was Seagram's, which is what I said.
Yep.
It's wet and it's dry. My. But I referred to his harmonica as being Bobo. And I made a mistake there because that was actually an Aerosmith harmonica. And they had an album called Honkin' on Bobo, which I conflated the two deeply lame things.
I went to look it up because like I write the descriptions, a little behind the scenes like info here. And I was like, what's the name of Bruce Willis's harmonica? And it was like, there's no known name of his harmonica. And I was like, all right. So I left that part out.
So, like I said, a rare correction here on the show.
That's okay. It happens. You know, this is the stuff that happens.
That's right. It does happen.
So anything else besides a dirty dead rat in your wall?
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of fun stuff. Planning our vacation. I've mentioned that a couple times.
Yeah, well, it's worth mentioning.
Planning on me and the girlfriend are going to go to Europe. And last time I was there was back in 2019, like right before the pandemic.
Wow. It's been a minute then.
Yeah, it has been a minute. And last time she was there was like over a decade ago.
Wow.
So we're looking forward to this. And but boy, there's a lot of things you have to think about when planning a trip. So it's like now I'm spending like well over the time that I would be there, just trying to make sure that I've got like everything planned out. I don't want to leave a bunch of stuff up to chance. So I'm trying to like get like train tickets to the airport.
I told you that I have a person,
stuff.
Right?
Yes. you told me, but I like doing this myself, even though it takes a lot of time.
I mean, I suppose it's a bit like building a piece of IKEA furniture.
Right. And I tell you what, your person is never going to look at my itinerary and go, that's a great idea.
So you're worried about itinerary shaming.
That's right. Yes.
So we are now at the root of your hesitation.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I keep running stuff by the girlfriend. She's like, sounds good.
Meanwhile,
which I know is not going to be the attitude when we're there and we have to catch another train. So I'm trying to I'm trying to like.
You said it was okay.
Yes.
You should record like
I should,
in your pocket. Be like, remember this?
Right.
Sounds great, babe.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
But I'm trying my best to rein in my desire to see everything. Knowing that both of us are over the age of 40 and multiple days in a row of doing things like that,
You have to
walking and going on trains and planes and
snacks
automobiles
and naps are going to be key.
Yes. But sometimes there won't be time for that.
Well, you're going to have to figure out a way to make time.
So that's what I'm trying my best to do. So I'm trying to make sure everything is like that we're not going crazy. I was looking, we're going to Glasgow, we figured out, in Scotland for a few days. And I was looking at like, what if we do it like a day trip from Glasgow and like pop out to the countryside or maybe see the Loch Ness Monster or something fun in Scotland. And I'm looking through all these like tours that you can get. And every single one of them is like, we pick you up at 8:15, and it's just like 8:15. I can't get a 10:30. I can't get a noonish. No, it's all
there are no
like
nooners.
Super early. And I'm just thinking, that's not going to work for us. So now I'm trying to find like the lazy tour guide that wants to get out of town around 1:30 in the afternoon.
Traffic's coming back the other way.
Wants to sleep in. Yes. Get up at a reasonable hour. and take us to, the Loch Ness or some castle or something, but does not want to leave, before sunrise. So
you know that 8:15 is not
challenges.
Before sunrise.
Well,
right?
it feels like it to me.
Okay. So clearly we're not a morning person.
No. No, we're not.
Okay. All right. I guess I assumed that you are, although I don't know why. You just seem like I have responsibilities kind of a guy, but you're also in a rock band.
Yeah.
So it's quite the juxtaposition of personality traits.
I guess, but I mean, yeah, my work schedule means that I get into work usually between 10:30 and 11. So, to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning would mean that I was tired before I got into work, so you just got to have to go with the schedule that you have in life. And also, I'm naturally a night owl, so I would be up at 3 in the morning if I didn't have a job. So it's good that I do to kind of rein in my tendencies. So
yeah, I'm a night owl too.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's normally fine, except when the cats are fighting in the middle of the night. And then I'm suddenly, my sleep is precious. I must go to bed. And I become irrational. But it gives me an excuse to lay in bed much later than I should.
There you go. I mean, if you don't got anything the next day, that's the way to do it.
Well, yes.
Just ask any depressed person.
I know. I'm are we really going to talk about that right now? I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. Remember, I'm unpacking.
That's right. Yeah. But you got to allow yourself the time to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 42 days. No, I'm kidding.
And we've got to allow ourselves the time to take a break.
All right.
Because we've got a bunch of stuff coming up in the next segment. We got to talk about our cultural blind spots. And I saw some good movies.
Really?
And I've got some thoughts.
Okay.
How about you? Did you see anything?
I have seen a couple things. I am really working on this now actively. So
awesome.
I'm excited to share. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more. Don't Ask Me to Talk. Yeah. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I am Stacy Heller. Thanks for listening. We so appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah, and now you know what to do if you got a rat corpse under the floorboards.
Yes, you're welcome. This is essentially a public service program where we share all kinds of tips and tricks with you.
That's right. And I forgot to add the addendum to that in the fact that we're actually getting our deck redone. And so there will finally be a chance for me to see the side of the house that I have no access to now.
Oh.
And
seal that sucker up?
Seal that sucker up, yeah. Find out where the heck these guys are getting in. Because they seem to be, it's got to be small because they get in, but they can't get out. It's like one of those roach hotels, yes. That remember those commercials?
Yes.
Like roaches check in, but they don't check out. Or
yep.
Yeah, I think they have the same thing for rats. But apparently, my house, my crawl space, is a rat trap. But the problem with that, of course, is that gets funky.
Right.
So yeah, and also that they can chew through pipes, which is
bad.
Very bad, yes.
So bad.
So I gotta give hats off to this rat for not doing that this time. That saved me some damage.
Oh, that's so nice. Maybe it was Ratatouille.
Possibly. I hate to think of a beloved children's character dying under my house.
Well,
but
he
sure.
was full from all of
well, there you go.
From all of the Ratatouille. Actually, and his name wasn't Ratatouille. His name was Remy, I think.
Okay. Well, speaking of movies,
yes,
that is another one that I haven't seen that will have to eventually check off my big list of cultural blind spots because it does star one of my fave people, which is Patton Oswalt, who does the voice. of the character Remy. So yeah, I should check it out at some point. But again, it's just one of those things. Not having kids, that usually those kids movies are not top of my list for going to check out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm an adult. What are you going to do?
You need the heart of not a warrior. You need the heart of a child to watch some of these shows. Whatever. All right. But that's not what we're talking about right now.
No, I mean, it is one of those cultural blind spots, which is what we are talking about right now.
Yes.
Because I happen to see a couple big movies that I never saw before, and I enjoyed them both. But let's start with you. Did you happen to check out anything fun and new to you that is maybe going to make people go, what?
Well,
you've never seen such and such? Like Ratatouille?
Ratatouille. Yeah. Actually, I have a couple things, but I actually have a couple follow-up things.
Oh, okay.
So, remember...
Finally watched RoboCop 2 and 3?
No, I am not. I told Charlie, we went out the other night for dinner, and I was talking about this segment, which I often do, because I'm always curious what people have to share.
Yeah.
And he was like, so you just talk about, like, what you haven't seen? That's lame. I'm like, no, you idiot. We talk about what we have seen now, and we share our thoughts. And he was like, oh, yeah. Anyway, love him so much. But a few episodes ago, I was talking about how I had never seen Spinal Tap.
Uh-huh.
And I finally saw it. And then, lo and behold...
Just as the sequel's about to drop, which you weren't aware of
I
at
wasn't
the time,
aware of. And then, lo and behold, sure enough, on Jimmy Kimmel, Spinal Tap was there.
Right. It's
being
like...
interviewed. And I was like, wait? And Rob Reiner?
Yeah.
I mean...
This is almost like when you buy a car and then suddenly you see all these other people driving the same car, but you never would have noticed it before.
Totally.
You've seen Spinal Tap now, and suddenly they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? And it was a 20-minute long interview, and they covered everything from their writer for the show, where they talked about random things.
Right.
They talked about how they don't like ice, and then they made a little political statement, which I was like, okay, cool. And they talked about how they didn't like the first movie because it made them look like idiots.
Uh-huh.
And then they showed some bits of the second movie, which naturally also makes them look a bit like idiots.
Right.
And then they performed.
Nice.
And I was like, this is crazy. So now I'm excited to see it.
Very good.
So
it's Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues.
Yes.
Which I believe is in theaters now.
Or like Friday.
Or will be
or
shortly
something.
after this episode drops, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because this episode drops on Friday. So
Yeah.
maybe tonight. Rush out and see it. Anyway, so I just thought that was really interesting. And then I also mentioned a few episodes back that I read a book called The Thursday Murder Club. It was a book that I read for the Veranda Beach Book Club. And I had shared that, apparently it was all the rage for a minute and people were liking it. I read it in 24 hours, basically. The feedback from the group was that there was way too many subplots going on, but I had also mentioned that it was coming out as a movie on Netflix. So I watched that. And I'll tell you what, smartly, they got rid of some of the subplots and cleaned it up and made it much tighter. And it was an enjoyable watch. And also, kind of tame, like an enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
Like a bath.
Okay.
Is probably enjoyable.
One of the places we're going to in England.
Hey, so just like Bath. Just like Bath.
Yes.
But I felt like I needed to follow up and do that. because
All right.
I'm
Yeah.
like being much more this segment has made me much more conscious of like if I put it out into the universe, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to follow up on that.
Yeah.
And so I did that. And then I will share this. This is one of those current blind spots that like people have been talking about this show for the past few years. The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's a show. I think it's also on Netflix.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Yes. So it's this whole thing with this girl, Belly, and the brothers. And I really haven't watched the show. Pete and Grace, husband and daughter, they started watching it together, and it became this father-daughter bonding moment, whatever. It feels very Gilmore Girls. So I'm watching it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. She goes from one brother to the other brother, and Pete's suggestion is that she try Hinge, that she just try to just get away from the brothers. And you know what? If you're looking for someone to date, go on Hinge or something, because you need to try a much bigger dating pool than what you're currently fishing in.
Go from unhinged to hinge.
Correct.
Makes
Correct.
sense.
But what a trope, man, the whole thing. I was like, are you kidding? And so I get so impatient with these things. And so I watched a couple episodes with him, and I'll tell you what, you can pick it up in the last episode and know exactly the whole story. But then I just got impatient enough that I looked up, I guess this is based on a book, what happened in the end in the book. And I was like, yep, of course that's what happened. And I'm done. I don't have to waste any more time watching this show. But you know what? God bless to all you people that love it. That's awesome. It's good, fluffy fun. But I can check it off and say that I know enough to know who the characters are.
Yes.
So it will not
Should you get a 9-to-5 job?
Should I get
you
and water cooler
and
talk?
Water cooler.
Right. I could be like
still available.
I could be like, that Belly, she crazy.
There
am I
go.
right or am I right? So those are my things that I did. So not any major things, but sort of minor little baby steps.
All right.
All right. So I feel like though you had some good stuff.
Yeah, I saw Interstellar, which I'd never seen before. And this one kind of flew under my radar.
Didn't this come out in theaters again, like this summer or something?
I guess that one of the theater chains, or I guess a few of the theater chains, are doing like separate, like classics in quotes, depending on what you think, are being reshown in theaters again. I wish I'd known about this because I would like to see this on the big screen, but I may have to wait for its like 20th anniversary or whatever in 2034 to see it, because I think I missed the big screen opportunity this last week. But yeah, one of my coworkers mentioned how they had just seen it on the big screen. I was like, damn.
Yep, two of my kids
not
saw
in the
it
loop
this summer. Will and Grace. Yeah. Okay. Hold your comments, people. They both saw it separately this summer because they really liked it. So did you really like it?
Yeah, this is actually surprisingly good movie. But at the time that it came out, 2014, I feel like there was a whole lot of these like astronaut movies.
Yeah,
there was like a glut of stuff like Gravity.
Yep.
The Martian. All kinds of stuff that was just like, oh, what, wait, what, which one is what?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
And I guess I didn't realize that, okay, this is the Christopher Nolan version of those, which means it's going to be
better
and more interesting. But, you know, speaking of The Martian, Matt Damon actually has a small role in this that they kept kind of secret at the time, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's very good in it. The whole cast is great. It's got Matthew McConaughey. It's got Jessica Chastain, Anne Hathaway, Mackenzie Foy, a baby Chalamet in it.
I know, is that
think
crazy?
It's like one of his first roles, I think. He's playing like a teenager. And then later, the older version of him is portrayed by Casey Affleck.
That's right.
Who remarkably looks a lot like a grown-up Timothy Chalamet could potentially look in about 10 years from now. But the funny thing is, Timothy Chalamet's voice, as a teenager even, is much deeper than Casey Affleck's voice, who's like suddenly like this. So it is kind of jarring to have the same character to be
His
like,
voice
yeah, what's up,
changed.
Dad? Yeah, his voice changed, but it went in the opposite direction.
Hey, Dad.
What normally happens.
Oh, I'm so glad you're back.
So have you seen this movie, by the way?
I saw it. I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it like on streaming, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was really good. There was like a lot. You had to pay attention.
Oh yeah.
Like because it was like, wait, what is happening now? Like
it's complicated, but it's a thrill ride, and it's a beautiful movie in many respects. But one thing that drove me nuts is Matthew McConaughey. Hey, is
all right.
Yeah, he's great in the movie, but I gotta say, he talks quieter than every other person in the movie.
So they didn't
for like
adjust?
The first 3/4 of the movie. He's like kind of just whispering every line, man, and he's just like way down here, and everybody else is up here, and I'm like, why the hell is he whispering? And finally, there's a robot that says, "Why are you whispering?"
I forget that. I love the attention to detail that you have.
And it like cracked me up so hard because I'm like, why the hell is he talking like this through this whole movie? And then finally the robot like calls him out on it, and it was so satisfying.
I forgot about that. That's funny.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and a very interesting movie. And basically, it's just about like Earth is in its dying days, essentially. So they send a group of astronauts to find another planet that we could potentially, colonize, and move to.
And they all have quirks.
Yeah, and they all have quirks. Yeah, and then the fun begins because some of these planets are not suitable at all.
Right.
And there was already like apparently a mission that sent people to what they thought would potentially be planets that people could live on, and then turns out that most of them weren't. For many reasons. One planet is just all ocean, for instance, which would make it a little hard.
I mean, not if you have a boat.
Well, the other problem was these giant tidal waves.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay, fair.
And there's a whole lot about how like the time differences mean that, for every like minute they spend down on this planet, like 7 years has passed in Earth time, essentially.
Yeah.
So they, they're trying to go do like a rescue mission that would be a couple hours, and instead like 30 years has passed on Earth. So now he's like gets like messages from his kids, Matthew McConaughey's character, Cooper, and he sees that they're all, adults essentially at this point. And then, spoiler, by the time he gets home, his daughter is like on her deathbed essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all kinds of interesting concepts that they tackle in this. And I feel like it's really well done and a really smart movie. But you really have to pay attention, like you said.
Oh, you totally have to pay attention. And it's funny because Will and Grace both really liked it at the time. And I want to say maybe at the time they didn't see it in the theater. And it was like, so when they heard that they could see it again on the big screen, they were like, yes, I'm into that. That's amazing. Because they were like, this would be amazing to see on a big screen. So,
I would agree with that. I would say, yeah, if you can see it on the big screen, do so, because it is definitely an epic.
Yeah, project it on the side of your house, like say where you've removed a deck and you have a blank space that you can finally access. You can get one of those projectors. Bam, done.
Well, there you go. That's one way to do it.
Right?
But yeah, I feel like I got a pretty decent sized TV, so I didn't feel at all like, oh, I can't. I can't with this,
There you go.
like people watching stuff on their phones. It's not a movie to watch on your phone. I'll just say that. Yeah.
It would be so depressing. Well, good for you.
Yeah, but to kind of get a different perspective on McConaughey, an actor that I don't think I ever really paid much attention to before, I went back and watched Dazed and Confused,
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
I had never seen, but it is one of those movies that people go, what? You haven't seen this? And in fact, while I was just walking by a store a couple weeks ago, people were quoting this movie just out in the wild. And so I was like, yeah, I guess maybe I should check that out so I get the reference. But it is one of those movies where it's like once you get the reference, it's kind of like, oh, really? That spawned people are still saying be a lot cooler if you did from this. And it's just a throwaway line like I'll be back in the Terminator.
Yeah.
That just blew up and became like the thing that people say.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I got to say, I enjoyed Dazed and Confused. I thought it was kind of fun. It's one of those classic kind of teenager, college age people movie along the lines of Animal House and Fast Times at Ridgemont High that I both also recently watched. So this fits neatly into that kind of concept.
Okay.
But I kind of felt like I expected this to be funnier, honestly. And it's fun.
It had, I haven't seen it, but, you see little bits and stuff. Did it have like an American Graffiti type vibe where it wasn't necessarily about being funny, but it was almost like a slice of that generation of kids?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Like, remember
Texas.
that movie?
Yeah.
Like, American Graffiti was very much like what was funny is having perspective and how stupid kids are.
Sure. Yeah. And I watched American Graffiti, too, for the first time just a few years ago. And, what's remarkable about that movie is then that George Lucas goes on and makes Star Wars after it. Instead, this movie, his first hit movie, is essentially, kids driving around and going to a drive-in. There's not a lot happens in it. And the same thing with Dazed and Confused. Not a lot happens in this movie.
Yeah.
But it's still interesting. But, I mean, in 1993, I was fairly fresh out of high school at that point. So the idea of seeing, a bunch of dirtbags, kind of stumble around and for 2 hours did not really appeal to me.
This came out in 1993?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
So it was just one of those where it's like, yeah, I'll see it eventually. And then I finally did, and I'm glad I did. But if, for my money, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High is a much funnier, smarter, better made movie than Dazed and Confused. But, I understand why people of a certain generation really enjoy it. So,
it's like there's always that one great teenage culture commentary movie every, 20 years. And, Fast Times, just so good. Just covers...
Fast Times. I don't feel like you don't have to have been a teenager at the time of A, when it's set, and B, when it was made to really enjoy it as an all-time classic. Whereas I feel like Dazed and Confused, maybe if you're Gen X, it helps a bit more, even though here I am, Gen X, and I'm just saying, it's okay.
And is it specific to Texas, do you think?
I think it could be any small town in America, really. Okay. But yeah, there is some of that Texas vibe to it for sure. It's set in Austin in the 70s. So for me, it's like, okay, this is a bunch of teenage dirtbags my own age that are portraying teenage dirtbags from 20 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, okay, yeah. I felt like at that point I kind of had enough of those people. I didn't need to see their lives up on screen. But now, with time and perspective, I could enjoy it.
Another movie sort of like that, but very different, is Reality Bites.
Yeah, I remember enjoying that at the time, but I haven't seen it since it came out, and I saw it in the theater, so I don't know how it holds up.
I was just dating Pete at the time, and there's an age difference of 7 years between us, and while I was like, yes, this just feels so true for my generation, he was like, quit whining, get a job. So he was very much like the Ben Stiller character. And, I was like, oh, the angst. And he's like, oh, for God's sakes, like, get yourself together, man. So, yeah, that there's a few things that I really feel the age difference with Pete. And that was an early example of that.
Yeah,
So.
I think at the time when it came out, I was about maybe the age, maybe a little younger than the characters in the movie. But I kind of felt like she should have ended up with the Ben Stiller character and not the Ethan Hawke character.
Right.
Because he just seemed like such a mess. He was a cool mess, man.
Yeah. I mean, come on. He treated her like horribly.
Yes.
It's so cool.
But right, exactly. But, who cares? Relationships at that age never seem to really last the long term anyway. So
right.
It doesn't really matter. She would eventually wake up to the fact that Ethan Hawke's character is a mess.
I do love the fact that she used her father's gas card for cash.
I don't remember.
She was desperate
most
for
of the
money.
details of that, but yeah. That's...
And there was the scene where the person in the interview asked her to define ironic, and she couldn't.
Right. She didn't just pull up the Alanis Morissette song. And
didn't happen. So,
it's like rain on your wedding day.
Right. Which
it's like spoons when you want a fork.
Right. Which, as Annie's middle school English teacher told her, those things are just a bummer.
Absolutely.
It should have been called, Isn't It a Bummer?
That probably would have been a hit, too. And isn't it a bummer?
Exactly.
Don't you think?
It really is. Hey, we probably
need to move on to our
what a bummer.
Next segment. Yeah, unfortunately.
Isn't it ironic?
It's so ironic. Oh, boy. Time passages, like Al Stewart said. But we'll be right back, and we'll talk about our top topic, which we haven't mentioned so far in the show, by the way, which I still don't completely understand the concept behind it, but we'll find out after the break. But it's Spare or Heir. So find out what we're talking about when we talk about our top topic coming up in just a few seconds on Don't Ask Me to Talk. And we're back right here on Don't Ask Me to Talk. I'm one of your podcast pals. I'm Eric Ryder.
Hey, I'm one of your podcast pals, too. I'm Stacy Heller, and I am excited to talk about this topic, sort of.
Absolutely. Stacy, as you know, each week, the Wheel of Topics picks a topic for us to talk about on the show. But the Wheel of Topics does not come up with the topics that go on the wheel.
No.
As we just talked about last week on the show, AI sucks.
Yeah.
And so it would never have this creativity.
Yeah.
Of picking these awesome topics. But you do not suck, my friend.
Thank you.
And you come up with these topics that go on the Wheel of Topics. And I like to figure out a little bit of what you were thinking as you picked these topics. So please enlighten us on Heir or Spare.
Okay. Now, this phrase is used a lot around like the idea of having a son and then you have a spare son. Like, so I have two sons. So I essentially am like Lady Diana. There's the heir to the throne and then there's the spare, right?
Right. One of those sons can only go 50 miles an hour.
Right.
Because he's smaller than the other one.
Right. So, but that's not what I'm referring to here. This is like a way of being. So when I was growing up, my mother, in hindsight, probably also had ADHD, right? So she was a list person. So she had her grocery list and she planned her menu. And on the grocery list, if you used the ketchup, then luckily there was another one. So there was the spare. And then you had to immediately write it onto the grocery list, and so that she could have a spare to the spare.
This just seems clever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this came up because I ended up having a conversation with somebody about this, because at the lake house, we don't necessarily have the room to have a spare for everything.
Right.
And so you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to have a backup to, like booze, 100%, rum, gin, 100%. Absolutely have a spare. Ketchup, yes. Mayonnaise, yes. but other things that I would normally have a spare to, no. And so I wasn't sure if everybody does this or if this is something that is a little bit more unique, or if it's about, frankly, there's a lot of cash sitting in your cabinet potentially that is just sitting there. Maybe people don't have the budget for that, or also space. I mean, that's why I don't have all of the spares at the lake house.
Sure.
So I was just like, the person that I was talking to was like, I don't do this. I'm like, so you're telling me that if you run out of ketchup, like, you can't have anything that requires ketchup until you get a new one? And they were like, yes, I have that power to choose.
Right.
And
there are several stores in my neighborhood. I can go get ketchup at any time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was just wild to me. And so I figured I would put it out here to you and the rest of the listeners, like, hey, who's the weirdo?
Well, I think we know the answer to that.
Well, okay. But let's expand beyond that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, that's interesting. I've never heard it phrased this way or really thought about this concept. But I got to say, I do something similar to that in that I buy stuff when it's on sale. I don't really, it's a rare occasion where I buy something when it's not on sale.
Okay.
So if ketchup is on sale, I stock up on ketchup. I get 2 or 3. And then by the time ketchup's on sale again, I'm down to a single bottle of ketchup. So now I get 3 more bottles of ketchup. And then I've got ketchup because ketchup lasts forever, essentially. So I've got, the backups, but it's because I bought it when it was on sale. It was a good price. And I do that with all my groceries, essentially. Not as much with meat. Mind you, I've only got so much room in the freezer.
Right. And even though you can freeze meat, like having meat like a year later, like that's just nasty.
No, it's not that bad, actually. I've done it plenty of times.
All right.
Meat will, once you get past like the 5-year mark, it gets a little bit iffy. But before that, frozen meat holds up very well.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Again, another thing. So now we know about corpse smells and old meat. Totally unrelated.
But do yourself a favor and take that wrapper out to the outside garbage can.
Right. Exactly.
Do not put it in the inside garbage can, or you'll get cadaverine wafting through your kitchen the next day. No, thank you.
No, thank you. Okay.
That's right.
So that's an interesting thing. I like the sale approach. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I just sort of have the habit. Like, there's things that because you grew up in a household and it was done that way, it's like, well, that's just what you do. And so that's just always what I did. And it's
also kind of the Costco thing that a lot of people do this too. Is you're buying stuff in bulk, in theory, to save money. So you've got like way more of everything than you possibly need.
Right.
So by the time you're down to your 1/4 portion of whatever giant bottle of ketchup that you bought at Costco, it's about time to get another one. So you're set for the next year or so.
And, and I don't buy those kinds of things at Costco.
Same.
Because it's just like, what am I going to do with like a keg-sized thing of mayonnaise?
Well, and also here's a little secret. Your regular grocery store, when they put stuff on sale, is a lower price than Costco is the rest of the year.
Right.
So, but it totally makes sense if you're running a business or you've got a huge family or something like that.
You really go through things that often.
Absolutely,
like, hey, like toilet paper and paper towels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's plenty of good, cool stuff at Costco. And in fact, doing this, this just a side note, doing this trip planning, I've been amazed to see how many Costcos around the globe that there are.
Really?
Because I was watching videos on Iceland, one of the places we're going to. And one of the videos was about how what's in the Icelandic Costco. And I'm like, do I got to go to Costco in Reykjavik?
Maybe.
And I realized, hey, I'm renting a car in Reykjavik. I'm going to get that gas discount while I'm there with my Costco card.
Oh, look at you.
Yes.
Look at you.
Hack. And then I just saw on the map of Glasgow as I'm looking for a hotel, Costco. I'm like, there's a Scottish Costco? Am I going to have to go to the Scottish Costco and see if I can get like a jumbo size thing of haggis to ship home?
I think you need to go to the Costco headquarters in Issaquah and be like, hey, I'm planning on going to all these Costcos when I'm over there. Like, do you want me to bring him anything? Do you need a message? Like, can I get a name tag? Like, hook me up. Hook a guy up.
The Kirkland signature 5-gallon Scotch whiskey for $40.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe. We will see.
You're weird. But you know what?
Am I weird?
No. I mean, you're not, because I actually did go to the Costco headquarters for my brother, who's a huge fan, and asked them for like a shirt or a name tag or something, and they obliged.
Yep.
So good on Costco. Good on you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't think I'm actually going to go to the Costco's, but I am going to use that gas discount for my rental car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And by the way, the video, I was shocked at how much it looked exactly like the Costco in Tacoma.
I mean,
I thought like, well, maybe there'd be some kind of like customized to the culture kind of thing to it. And apparently the hot dog is a lot better over there.
Really?
And so I may have to stop in and get the Icelandic hot dog at Costco, but I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder why it's so different. Like,
well, they use different meat.
You mean like quality?
Well, yeah. I mean, smoked lamb probably, instead of like, pork beef combo like we got here.
Beef byproduct?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that in there. Yeah.
All right. Well,
but I'm not going to throw any shade on the American Costco hot dog because I enjoy it quite a bit, actually.
I love a hot dog.
Yeah.
Honestly. Okay. Well, if you're smart, when hot dogs go on sale, you will get a spare.
Yeah.
So that when you eat the air, you'll have the spare.
I definitely do that. Yeah. No, but I find this actually very useful. But it does mean that I've got all my cabinets are just jam packed with food.
Right.
So, but I'm buying stuff that doesn't really go bad. Like I said, you can't really do this, unfortunately, with like vegetables or fruit.
No.
Because it immediately goes bad. So I would never buy that at Costco because there's, two of us trying to hork down 5 pounds of salad. It does not work. It's bad by day 3.
Yeah.
You need like a 2 portion serving of salad.
At that point, you could feed it to the rat.
Well, there you go. Maybe he would still be with us if I had known he was down there.
Yeah, I think it is. So it sounds like it's not a crazy idea. It's not necessarily something that you do, but I think the sale idea is smart. It's also space contingent. And also, like, my mom had like a spare for like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so then, like, when you would go to find something, like, quite literally when my kids were tiny, I went to make the macaroni and cheese Kraft, and the box was Best Buy, which means that it was like going to be shelf stable for like 4 years. It had expired 10 years prior.
I bet it was still good.
No, because
you threw it out.
Well,
but I bet it would have been fine.
Okay. No, actually, because my father's like, it's fine. It's all crap. And so he undid the cheese thing and like cooked the pasta because it's pasta.
Sure.
But then the cheese thing was like the color of like rust. It was nasty. So actually.
But how did it taste?
You think I'm going to feed my children that? You crazy? On that note.
All right. Well,
we're probably out of time.
Love to know what our listeners do out there, what their shopping hacks are.
Yeah. I mean, let us know.
Yeah.
Like, do you have like the basement that's like, they used to have the basement that was like the canning spot where, you had your pantry and stuff. Like,
right.
Pete's grandfather had a spot in the basement where it was like
This is how wine cellars got started.
Yes.
People stocking up when it was a bargain, and then it eventually becomes the most expensive thing in the house.
Totally. Exactly. So, all right. Well, on that note, what are we talking about next time?
Let's find out.
Yes.
Smart or lucky?
Oh, which is it better to be?
Which one am I?
You're so
and which
lucky.
one are you?
I am so smart to have picked you as a co-host, and you are so lucky that I'm your co-host.
All right.
That's not the topic.
Fair
completely,
enough.
though.
I just want to give a sneak preview because maybe we'll never get to this, but maybe we will. The topic right above it that it almost landed on was water wet. What?
Hey, man, is water wet?
What?
Yeah. Deep thoughts.
I can't wait to find out what the heck water wet is about. But we're going to have to wait on that because next week we're finding out what smart or lucky is about.
Yep.
So be sure and tune in for another exciting edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk. Same damp channel, same damp time. Wherever you get your damp podcasts, we are there.
Yeah, you're damn welcome.
No, I said damped.
I said damped.
It sounded like you said damp.
No, that's a bad word.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. Don't be so damn stupid.
We got to run, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.